Howdy there, folks. How are y'all doing? My name is Rees, and today I'm going to be making a video for future internet historians who want to look back on the hashtag YouTube Thanos snap and try to possibly figure out what went wrong, because in the present, I still don't know. Now, I should say that I'm recording this on August the 7th, and it's going out on the 8th, so some new information might come out before it comes, before it gets released, but I'm recording it when I have the time and releasing it in a usual video slot. So I'm just going off what I know. When I say yesterday, I'm talking about the 6th, Tuesday the 6th. When I say today, I am talking about the 7th when this was recorded. Sorry if that makes things complicated. But what's happened here with the YouTube Thanos snap, I think perfectly encapsulates what YouTube's greatest problem, its greatest flaw is. So before we can adequately talk about the snap, we need to do some setup. We need to do some backstory. Over the last several weeks, actually starting somewhere along in here, I would say, very early July, we're looking right now at the previous 90 days, my YouTube channel started to receive a bit of growth, a bit of forward momentum. And as you can see, kind of over the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, those little weekend highs kept boosting kind of throughout the month of July, going all the way up to 5,000 views. I haven't gotten that many views in a single day in quite some time. You know, the channel's had its ups and downs. I am, if you're stumbling across this and you don't know who I am, I'm a very small YouTube gamer. I certainly don't compete with the likes of PewDiePie. It's mostly just something I do for fun. I have a passion for it. I enjoy it. I did some Tech at Legends content recently, which did really well, and as you can see, views have maintained up in the, we'll say very high 5,000s to the mid 6,000s over the last several days, actually over a week now. And that was really exciting for me to see that growth and that sustained sort of higher threshold of views, because for a long time it was stagnating down here in the 3,000s, and to see it go up nearly double, I just sort of wanted to maintain that. I thought that if I could maintain that for 30 days, not even thinking about growth, going any higher, just maintaining that, I thought that would be pretty cool, and it would be quite an accomplishment. But then something happened yesterday, so August 6th, 2019, that gave me a bit of a shock. So if we look yesterday at the 2 o'clock hour, the 2 to 3 hour, you'll notice there's a pretty big drop-off in the amount of views that I was receiving per hour. So this is the real-time 48-hour tracker, and as you can see here, this is the tail end of Monday, the 5th, and going into the 6th, everything seemed fine. You know, my morning video goes out, so if you look up here, I usually do a video a day. Sometimes they're not tracked correctly on this chart. I don't know why, but usually a video a day, and then over the last several days, I've been trying to do 2 videos a day throughout the month of August. I just sort of maximize the end of summer, younger audience, trying to enjoy content before school starts, even though that doesn't really make up a majority of my content. I do try to do that in August. I find that it's good for views, but there's a big drop there at 2 o'clock, and I didn't notice that until 3 o'clock yesterday. And when I noticed it, what I noticed was that 2 was down and 3 was not catching up. And that made me a little bit nervous, because I thought, well, something's happened. I haven't seen the views drop this low for a single hour period in a while. And I thought maybe it was a fluke, maybe it was a bug. I was at work, I didn't think too much about it, I went on with what I was doing. But several hours later, when I got home, showered, dressed, was editing, I decided to check analytics again, and I saw that this was a bit of a theme. The views were still very, very low, and that was concerning for me. I began to think, well, what happened? Did I do something wrong? Did the algorithm change and my videos aren't being served anymore? What happened at 2 o'clock on the 6th of August, 2019? As of right now, I still don't know. But I went to bed feeling a little bit better because I was able to determine, using video views, that the problem was with analytics, not the actual videos. So the numbers here are going to be different than they were when I checked them last night, but just for point of comparison, if we look here in the 48-hour graph, it'll show us something here like Incredible Build Showcase. This is a Minecraft video I put out today, so obviously this wasn't here when I checked yesterday, but same principle applies. Same principle applies. This went out on the 7th, and it actually went out at 4 o'clock. I think we'd find the point right up here where it went out, right there. So, as you can see, it says it's got 30 views. But if we look at the video here in the Videos tab, you'll see it has 67 views. And if we go back and look at something like Cub's Guide to Filling Holes, it says it has 99 views. Well, if we go back to the videos tab, it very plainly has 171 views. So I did this last night. I did it with the 2 videos I released yesterday, Myth and Rumor and The Lost Tales of Greece. So they show 120 and 17 respectively, but in here we see that it is in fact 36. Assassin's Creed is my biggest series. People love it. And 153. So I realized last night that the videos were performing fine, and I even checked back with older videos. I went back in here and kind of looked at my top videos, so you can sort by publishing date, views 24 hours, whatever. I checked individual videos, and I realized that the videos were still performing as well as they had been the day before, and the day before that, it was just a bug in analytics. And that happens. Analytics has issues like this sometimes. I didn't think too much about it. I was like, I'm going to go to bed, and I'm sure that by the time I wake up in the morning, this will all be sorted out. No worry. But then, as you can tell here, clearly that didn't happen. I went to bed and I woke up and the same issue was going on, and I thought, well, surely I'm not alone on this. I've got to delve to the bottom of this. Why is YouTube Analytics broken? So I did a Google search. I came across this on the support.google.com, and the original poster here is, I believe that says Aaron. My screen is very bright and that text is very small. But when I found this, there were no replies. So I was the first person to reply to it, and then since then, a lot of other people have come in and shared that they've had very similar problems. So then I took to Twitter, and I started to delve around in there, and I found out that, hey, look at that, Boogie2988, by no means a small channel, fairly established creator, is having a very similar issue. And so are a lot of other people replying to this issue. And you'll notice that there's a bit of a theme with these problems. They all happen at the same time. 2 o'clock on the 6th, 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. You might see as I scroll through here some people saying 3 o'clock, different time zones, but the exact same time every day. As you can see right there, around 2 p.m. So there's the drop. There's the drop. It's not just Boogie. It's also Danny Gonzalez. Danny Gonzalez had the same problem at the same time. And I thought, oh, all right, so this is starting to make sense. I start constructing in my mind what's happening here. Clearly, something has gone wrong with analytics. Either someone flipped a switch that wasn't supposed to be switched, or someone put in a 0 where 1 should go, and analytics broke. And I didn't think too much about that until I saw YouTube's reply to Danny Gonzalez. Oh, Scott Kramer also had a drop at the exact same time. I like Scott. Good guy. Makes good content. YouTube's reply to that was, this is actually part of how our system works to ensure we are counting views accurately. View counts can slow down or freeze as we verify they're real from humans, not computer programs. More on this here. So, if you've ever gone to the Team YouTube Twitter, you will see that. If you go to their replies and mentions and whatnot, you'll see that phrase copy-pasted to people asking about why views on their videos have frozen. I've seen that a lot. I'm on the Team YouTube's page quite often, too often actually, but I've seen that message before. It's copy-pasted to a bunch of people. That is not the problem that anyone is having. To be clear, that is when you go to your video and the view counter is frozen. Usually when you go to the analytics, it'll show you a higher number, a more accurate number. It's just the view counter is frozen for people watching the video till the videos are, until it's all verified. It's similar to, you remember the 300 freeze that we used to have back in the day where a video would reach 300 views and then freeze? Yeah, it still does that, but it no longer freezes at 300. I think what they do now is it's a percentage of the views. So if it has like 100,000 views, a percentage of that will be shown. And then if it jumps to 200,000, that percentage jumps up. So I think that is how they are doing it these days. I could be wrong on that, but that's not the problem anyone's having, but that's the solution everyone's receiving from YouTube. And I shouldn't say solution, it's not a solution, but everyone who's asking about this is being told this nonsense, which means, of course, that at no point did anyone at Team YouTube actually look into the problem. They just read, frozen views, copy-paste this nonsense, move along. Now, eventually, hours later, they finally started to reply with, we've seen similar reports, and we're already looking into this. We'll keep you posted for updates. It took them hours to change from, hey, everything is fine. Nothing wrong here, guys. Hours for them to finally go, maybe all of these people complaining about the exact same problem, which started occurring at the exact same time, maybe they are onto something. maybe there's something wrong with analytics. And you'll notice, this was started yesterday. People started complaining. When was this posted? I don't see a date. 12 hours ago. 12 hours ago. The problem is still happening. It hasn't been fixed. Oh, wait. Did we just see a bit of a bump there? I was going to say, the problem has not been fixed on here. It might have just been fixed. It might have been fixed live. I'll switch back over to it. I noticed that some of these numbers had jumped up a tiny hair. Maybe not. On my phone, I'll bring it up. I'm going to hold it up to the screen like a total noob. But I noticed on my phone, they had bumped up some of the... And they're down again! Fantastic! They're down again! I was going to show you the graph on here. This portion over here had gone up. And now they've gone back down. So that's great. So I assume that they are working on fixing it. I assume that the numbers will go back up to where they should be eventually. But here's my problem with YouTube. And here's my problem. A lot of people have this problem with YouTube. I think this is a very consistent issue that YouTube has had. My gosh, I just realized how poorly lit this video is. We're going to roll with it. YouTube is terrible at communication. YouTube is the worst at communication. YouTube's inability to talk to and also listen to their creators after all these years continues to be astounding. There is clearly something wrong in analytics, and again, I'm releasing this 12 hours after it's been recorded. Maybe some information has come out, but as of right now, they've yet to tell us what is going on. They have yet to come out and actually say, yeah, hey, there's a problem with analytics, we're working on it. And in fact, it took them hours to finally come out and say that. For the longest time, they were just telling us everything is good. Like, there's very clearly a problem. Everyone is reporting that there is a problem. There is a time of where the event took place. Like, we've got the exact moment. It was between 2 and 3 o'clock Central Standard Time that something went wrong in analytics, and it started counting views incorrectly. We can show you the pictures. We can link you to the back ends of the channels. But YouTube, first failure, refuses to listen. They just copy-paste the reply out there. Everything's fine. There's no problem. No, this is normal. It's not normal. It's definitely not normal. And then finally, when enough people pile on, when you have enough people, high-profile people, Danny Gonzalez is not a nobody. Boogie is not a nobody. When you have enough people putting pressure on them, they finally say, okay, we'll look into it. But that's all that they've said. They've yet to say what the problem is, how they're going to fix it, how extensive the problem is. We don't know if it is just the last, 24 hours. We don't know if it actually started at 2 o'clock. It could have started sooner, and maybe there's been some sort of a stair step where it's just gotten worse. Maybe all the views are higher. Maybe all the views are lower. Maybe they were overcounting views. We don't know. They're not telling us. That is the most frustrating thing about YouTube. They do not listen, and they do not reply. They do not communicate. All right? This situation, imagine if you're renting a house and you walk in your kitchen one day and a pipe is busted under the sink and water's pouring out on the floor, and you call your landlord and you say, hey, the kitchen's flooding, there's a pipe busted. And your landlord just replies with, oh no, it's supposed to be like that. That's actually a part of our cleaning system. Yeah, the water's going to gush out of the pipes and clean your floor. No problems. No problems here. You call them back a little bit later. You say, hey, I'm 6 inches underwater. I'm a foot underwater. I'm 3 feet. I'm now up to my waist in water. And they're just like, there's no problem. It's fine. There's no issues here. No. And then you call them and you say, I am literally drowning in the house that you own. Do you not care? And they say, hey, we're going to look into this whole busted pipe situation. That is absurd. That is obviously an absurd example, but that is actually what's happening. We are telling YouTube that their website does not function the way that YouTube's website should function, and YouTube's reply is, no problems, no issues. I mean, they're not even actually reading before they copy-paste. They're copy-pasting an explanation for a different, unrelated problem. And they didn't just send that to Danny Gonzalez. If you go through Twitter, just look up the hashtag YouTube Thanos Snap. They're sending that message to a lot of people. Like, no, it's all good. It's all good. So, like I said, a few moments ago, before I started the video, I did check the Creator Studio app. And it showed the views to be back up. But now it shows the views to be back down. Maybe I should try on a different device. Maybe I'll check on my iPad while we're sitting here, and maybe it's changed there, because I did notice that some people were saying that it's not all analytics that are broken. Some devices are showing the correct numbers. Looks like my iPad's not showing. Nope, it's still incorrect. It's weird because it's now updated, and it's got the correct view for the date. Oh, that's interesting. So it shows the correct like total for the day. So if we go back, I don't even think I showed this earlier, but if we go back over here, this is the 90-day period. If we refresh it to, this is actually stopping right here on the 5th. If we update and show the 6th, I'm curious to see, because beforehand, yeah, look at that dip. It shows 4,236 for yesterday. So that is rolling with that decreased views per hour number. But if I'm on my iPad here, you'll notice that the 6th shows not such a dip. Can you actually see that? This is terrible. Why didn't I just take a screenshot? So that's been corrected. But if I go into analytics and I look at the 24-hour period, it is still abysmal, low, and incorrect. So YouTube is working on it. I will give them that. Once you piled on enough straw to break a camel's back, they finally decided to look into it, and it looks like it might be corrected at some point. I just wanted to make this video to vent and talk about the hashtag YouTube Thanos snap. I'm sure by the time this video gets released, the problem's been resolved. But the problem being highlighted here is not the Thanos snap. It's an issue. You know, I like to have actual good real-time analytics so I can tell what videos are performing well, what release times are performing well, when I should release videos. But all this really does is highlight the real issue with YouTube, which is the abysmal communication. If I was married to YouTube, I would seriously consider either divorce or counseling, because they are just not telling me anything. It's like I am living in a house by myself, and I know what that feels like. Sadly. Okay, well, thank you folks for watching. God bless you. If you were affected by the Thanos snap, comment down below and let me know. I'll see you in the next video.